Hey guys, it's Vashell and welcome back to my life. Welcome to my first 2023 episode of Girl Chat. I did my first Girl Chat a little while ago. It was in commemoration of International Women's Day and it went over really well. And one of the things that I want to do here on my channel, in addition to provide entertainment, is to also add value and provide necessary information to all of my subscribers. So that's where today's Girl Chat episode comes into play. I am here with Dr. Davy. Dr. Davy is an infectious disease specialist. She's an author and recently named one of SVG's best dressed women.
Of course.
Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of Girl Chat, Dr. Davy.
It is my pleasure, and thank you for the opportunity for having this chat.
I'm happy. I want to start off with the fashion. Fashion. Tell me about your love for fashion.
Oh, I don't even know when that started. I've had a couple of nicknames over the years, like Hot Stepper. Everybody knows that I love my shoes.
Yes. You know what? I'm probably going to insert a couple photos of some of the shoes that she has worn throughout the years. You send me some pictures.
Yeah, the shoes. Even for my birthday, the cameraman made it. He had to capture.
He had to capture the shoes.
Yes.
So would you say that shoes are your favorite part of an ensemble?
I would say that, without doubt. I even wrote a speech about shoes.
About shoes? Wow. Like for me, shoe would just be like an afterthought for me.
I like shoes and fine clothes to match the shoes.
Wow! This is the first time that I've heard that. Wow! I buy clothes first and then wonder if I have a shoe that would go with it. Wow.
Believe it or not, psychology, when people meet you, they look at your shoes. Because shoes are often a very good indication of your status. Unfortunately, people judge you by your shoes.
Girls, I hope that you're writing these things down. These are facts. These are really good facts that we need to remember.
And that's psychology. That's science-based. So if you research it, you'll probably find that. Because you can probably borrow some clothes, but most people are, a little iffy about borrowing shoes.
Yeah, that is true.
So that's why shoes are important.
So your closet has a bigger shoe section than the clothes section?
Well, no, obviously not. You can, mix and match shoes, but the clothing, you have to keep that intact as well.
Okay.
My clothing part is probably large because I've pretty much stayed the same size over the years.
Yes.
For instance, this dress is probably 10 years old.
Wow. This dress is not 10 years old. Nothing from 10 years ago could fit me.
And I wore a suit the other day to work. It's 18 years old.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that photo.
Yeah, because that was one of what I wore during internship. Yeah, so.
Okay.
I'm
I'm listening and I'm learning. I'm like, yeah, so 10 years from now I need to be able to put this dress on and it still needs to be able to fit me or even be too big. That would be great.
Well, depending on everyone's goal, everyone knows what they want to look like. And that's it, you must have a vision of what you want to look like. And your style must keep evolving over the years.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah. Not because you're a certain age mean that you should look droopy.
Yes! Facts! Big facts.
And you sometimes don't have to overdo it. Like people would notice I rarely change my jewelry. And not because I have any hate for people who love jewelry, but for me, most of the time, just run, get ready. And that would just be one of those things that would, set me back in time. If you listen to like presidents and CEOs, they have their like a color that, so there's no like, oh my gosh, should I wear black or red today?
They just have
great. So it's, you pretty much know, I know that I bought an expensive diamond pair earring, which I've used most of the time and interchange with this one. So I'm not looking to spend money much on the jewelry department. That's just me. But if people like that, that's fine.
Right, because there are some people who would spend more money on like the the clothing part of it. Some people like the shoes.
And there are people who like expensive watches. I'm yet to find a watch that agrees with me, meaning that I think my pulse outbeats it.
So, how did you feel when you found out that you were on that infamous Facebook list of best dressed Vincy women?
Well, I'm going to be funny here. I'm going to be saying it should have happened years ago.
Yes, because I saw the list myself, and I was like, every woman on there, they were like absolutely beautiful. And when I saw you, I was like, facts, like yes, absolutely.
We're not trying to be boasty, but if you know you look nice, then that's right.
Yes, and it's constantly looking nice. Like me, when I am not on camera or when I'm not going, out. I don't really put in much effort, which I should, because I think that you should, have pride in how you present yourself at all times. So that is something that I'm definitely going to work on. But yeah, sometimes, to be honest, I just don't feel like I care what people
Not that we're superficial, because people are going to say, we talk about fashion, but we have to be realistic. People do look at you, and take for instance, if a vagrant walks into a place, they'll be treated differently than if somebody were to dress up.
Yes.
And there was actually a businessman who forgot his wallet one time, and he realized that being well dressed and asking people for money, they will give it to him. It's like, I forgot my money and I need to take bus.
Yeah, because
you will get the money. Yeah. And he turned that into a career. So he dressed nicely and asked people for money. Of course, when they realized what he was doing, then he was busted. So we treat people according to how they look. So not superficial, but you have to represent yourself. And I believe when you leave the house, when you step out from the house, you should be representing yourself.
I agree, and I'm going to work on that. And girls, if you are guilty of being like me, work on that as well. Remember, people might, as you said, think that you're superficial, but it's not really about that. But I just think that you dress the way that you feel, and maybe if you don't feel great, putting on a good outfit or getting yourself put together will help to increase your sense.
It stimulates hormones, the feel good hormones, endorphins and all of that when you're dressed up and you look pretty. Well, you already know you're pretty on the inside. If you don't, then work on that.
Yes, work on that.
You are enough, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because you are enough. So not that you need extensive makeup and all of these things, but you should look good and fresh when you're leaving.
And as I listen to Dr. Davy, spill these gems, I understand where her book comes in. Because let me just introduce the book one time. This book is called Life Knows, a book of quotes. And everything in this book came from your head.
It did. I've had all the people who read the books say to me, it's like, you took some of those from your grandmother. I'm like, nope, they're all original. I think this book made me late for work sometimes. Not extremely late, of course, but my inspiration comes in the morning. So if you come to my house, I try to hide the books so it's not all over. But at any one given time, I have at least 5 books writing in. 5 notebooks, depending on what genre or category of stuff I'm dealing with or I'm learning about. If I'm reading, then there's a book that I make notes in. So this Life Knows came out of me thinking things and getting inspiration and putting it down and hoping that it will be useful to myself as well and to others.
Because I have not read the book and I can't wait to read it, but I have read, the synopsis at the back. And what, stands out to me the most is where you said everything about your life aims to teach you something, take you somewhere if you let it. And I think we miss important life lessons because when we have bad experiences, we want to forget them.
Yes.
Instead of really, looking for the silver lining.
Exactly.
Or looking for the, the lessons.
Mind you, there are people who put themselves in situations and then cry after. But we're talking about life is going to teach you something, and the lessons are not always the juicy ones, or is it like a happy moment.
Yeah.
If we're always on a high, that may be bad for all of us. So to get somewhere, you have to go through some things. I mean, I've known Vashell for a very long time, over 10 years for sure.
Yes.
She's gone through stuff, I've gone through stuff, we know it, we've discussed it, we're not telling you. And when you really think about all of the lessons that life teach you, if you're not distracted, because I think people are distracted, you can really turn those difficulties into propelling you for the better. And I think when I started writing this book, it was out of heartbreak, sort of, and it was about me wanting to move from one stage of my life to another. You know, people may say you're a doctor, you have a maid, you have this, you have that, but at the end of the day, life is not only about all of this. Life is about achieving purpose. And what is our purpose? Our purpose is bringing to the world service. So Vashell was made for this. It shouldn't be that Vashell compares herself to anybody because she's made for this. I'm made for a specific thing, or maybe more than one.
Yes.
And you're made for a specific thing. So your goal is to find that thing, no matter how menial you think it is, and do it. It shouldn't be that somebody is classified XYZ because, you know, they're a nail tech. I'm sure sometimes that nail tech may be making more money than I am.
Yes, they do, because girls love their nails done.
And maybe during that conversation, that person may have the opportunity to inspire another woman. That is your gift. Use it. Don't feel bad about it. But you cannot sit at home and wait for things to fall in your lap. If it's falling in your lap, it comes with a big price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I have had experiences, you know, in my life where I could have just let it define me and stop me from moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I have always tried to learn from each experience, you know, something juicy here, for example, you know, heartbreak. I went through heartbreak, girls. One of these days I'll tell you about it. But that did not, I did not let that, you know, allow me to say, oh, you know, I'm not trash. No. I instead thought about that situation and that person and the things that I did not like, things that I do not want anymore, and I allowed that to help me formulate the type of person that I, you know, can possibly see myself with, you know, till death do us part. And that is how I was able to, you know, start my relationship with Jason, because I knew what I wanted and I realized that he checked a lot of those boxes. Not all, because nobody is perfect, but, you know, I think that I have a wonderful relationship now with Jason because I was able to take lessons from the heartbreaks that I've had in the past.
And you said something very important without saying it. You said what you wanted. And what I find a lot in life is everybody says what they don't want. And what you focus on comes to you. So if you keep saying you don't want to get sick, you don't want to get that, then you would meet me here. If you keep saying I don't want somebody who does X, Y, and Z to me and this, that's what you're going to get. And unfortunately, until we learn those lessons, it's going to be on repeat. Because life would beat you, maybe like a small smack at first, and then it would give you a big cloud, and then if you're not careful, other things will happen.
Yeah, it might knock you completely down.
Yeah.
So I really cannot wait to read this book. It is available on Amazon.
It is in paperback
Paperback.
and Kindle form for those who like the e-reader. And I have it here in my office at Better Health Center in Anniston.
So for my viewers who are not in St. Vincent, definitely I will leave the link in the description box below. So go ahead and check it out on Amazon. And for those of you who live in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, come on down to the Better Health Center. If you have any illnesses, Dr. Davy is the person for you, and also pick up one of her books. But to, you know, talk about illnesses, I recently learned that someone that I know, not very close to me, but I met her a few months ago, wonderful spirit, wonderful person. She announced that she has been diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer, and it scared me, when I think of that for her, but also it scared me because I have breast cancer, in my family. My grandmother died of breast cancer, and I slack on the self-examination. As a matter of fact, I slack on so many important health-related things, that I should spend time on. And it's because I always say I'm so busy, but like, are you too busy for your health? You should not be too busy to take care of yourself. I mean, girls, when was the last time you did your breast exams? When was the last time you had a pap smear? Like, these are things that we cannot forget, because without your health, there's nothing. So, Dr. Davy, what are the 3 most important checkups that you think, as a woman, that we should do? Whether it's biannually or annually.
Well, you mentioned the big 2, the pap smears and the breast examination. Of course, with different age range, the different risk changes. But thankfully, women go to the doctor a lot, especially when it comes to having your periods and pregnancy. So we tend to get a better outcome for women as compared to men. And for the men watching it, you're not exempt from these examinations. I have to say, Vashell, that people are afraid to go to the doctor because they think it's associated to bad news. And the reality is, if we catch something in its early stages, we can do a whole lot more than rather having to see you suffer and there's nothing that modern medicine can do for you. So for annual checkups, I usually recommend that people just do a check of their hemoglobin, complete blood count, kidney, liver functions. For the men, the PSA, your hemoglobin, A1C. We have strong diabetes in our communities, and there are young people being diagnosed with diabetes. But apart from all of these checks, we really should increase our activity. Physical activity, be it home exercise, walks, nature walks, runs, gym. That is key. The other key is to eliminating processed foods. And I preach this every single day.
Guilty.
I think all of the cancers and all of these things come from our foods and the unsurmountable stress that we endure. Even this contributes to stress, because you put it to set off every time you hear a ding ding into your brain. That's a stress response, believe it or not. And people don't see it that way. We like to think we're that important that someone will contact us every few seconds, but we don't need to check this all the time. You need to set some times when you're going to say, I'm going to just check my email twice a day or whatever. If it's that important, pick up the phone and call me. Right? If I'm busy, they will tell you I'm busy, leave a message, I'll get back to you. But the addiction to these things increases our stress. This combined with all the radioactivity and the research behind it, especially if you're younger. And that bad food that we eat.
Bad food. It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it is.
And I can tell you how beneficial cutting out sugar and a lot of these processed foods are, because I did that a few months ago and I lost weight that I was going to the gym previously and I was not seeing that kind of results. And within the space of 2 months, without me actually going to the gym, just by me trying to eat as clean as possible, I saw results in how my body looked and also how my body felt. Now, I have slacked off on that a little bit, but I'm definitely going to get back on track.
So I suppose what will be useful for us in the future is trying to find things that would help people to be disciplined. Because a hero doesn't need motivation, because you sit with me, you're motivated to do it. After 2-3 days, I can't bother. I remember when I started going to the gym, why are you here? You're slim, you don't need this. But my take is, why chase the horse after it's left the stable? It's easy to keep it there rather than to chase
and try to find it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
And
prevention.
me, Carnival is coming and I need
TikTok?
to make sure that, yes, not only do I look good, but I have the stamina to do 2 laps around Kingston.
Exactly. And not that Carnival is the only motivation.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely, just to have a good everyday quality of life. That is something that I definitely need to look into and make sure that I'm always on target when it comes to eating clean and exercising.
Yeah, you cannot be a hero if you can't stay clean.
Exactly. I can't be here making videos if I'm sick, and I'm sure you guys would appreciate me being here for as long as possible.
Exactly. And looking good, because if you start looking like sick,
nobody would listen to me. Nobody would watch me.
So that's why I choose to represent health this way.
Great. Yeah, because hearing that this dress is 10 years old and it still fits, it's a great representation for health and taking care of yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Dr. Davy. It was a pleasure. Remember, guys, the link to the Life Notes book will be in my description box down below, so go ahead and pick it up. I'm also going to on the screen leave all of the information for Dr. Davy, her Instagram, her office numbers, because she is one of the best doctors that I've been to. And I'm getting my autograph, so when she becomes super famous, you guys
Very soon.
I got my autograph.
No, but you can't tell them because then they're trying to steal it.
Oh yeah, I know, it's not autograph. You're not seeing this. Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait to read this. Yeah, oh, pink. Love pink. Love pink. But guys, this book is for you too. Just don't worry about the color pink.
It's fuchsia.
Fuchsia, yeah, fuchsia. So anybody asks, it's not pink, it's fuchsia. So Dr. Davy, thank you again so much. I know that I learned a couple of things. I'm sure that my viewers learned a couple of things. Guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this episode of Girl Chat. I cannot wait to film another episode for you guys. I hope that you have been enriched, and I can't wait